What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be taking a look at a game of Storybook Brawl that has some characters in it that probably won't be making their way to the live patch anytime soon. We're going to be playing on the beta branch for this one, and basically by the end of the game, every single one of my characters and all of my treasures are going to have the word double on them, which is going to let things get pretty crazy. So this isn't quite going to be something that you'll see in a normal game of Storybook Brawl, but I definitely wanted to showcase it because things get out of hand. So we're going to be taking a look at a new hero in this one, Teller of the Fates. Every time you level up, get a character of that level. So this is again an experimental character. Not sure if this guy will make his way over to the live patch either, but it's pretty strong. It incentivizes you for getting XP because you'll get that unit to be able to stay consistent on board, but it's also just good if you just play the game of Storybook Brawl. 3 free gold, then 4 free gold, then 5 free gold, then 6 free gold as you just level up. So really nice stuff, potentially even better with XP, but just a really cool hero all around. And I believe in this shop we can do some interesting things with Shrink Ray. Shrink Ray plus double golden chicken. I think when you see that, the play is to just Shrink Ray and golden chicken and then lock, and then next turn pick up golden chicken plus your other unit. Well, I guess we pick up the Bossy in this case because that makes us stronger this turn, and then next turn we just pick up 2 golden chickens. So Bossy is a new unit that we're going to see replace Fanny. A little bit of a downgrade, but your other dwarves get +1/+1. You don't have to support though. It will just affect all of your dwarves in the front line. And that'll be enough to allow us to trade this combat, just playing 2 units. So doing great, and then we'll be able to pick up 2 golden chickens plus 1 more unit here, and that'll let us just stay powerful enough so that we're not taking too much damage, and the next turn we're going to get a free unit. So this has been definitely a really good start for us. Teller of Fate's kind of an interesting hero because it's definitely a tempo-based hero, not really a synergy-based one, but it doesn't come into play until you hit level 3. So that is going to make it play out a little bit differently in that you might take damage in the early game, but then now is when we get a little bit of a boost. And we're going to be able to grab a mummy for free from that, so that's nice. And then there's Tree of Retribution, checking that out. That is an experimental unit as well. And we get to check out one of these new experimental treasures, and Skip's Puzzle Cube, I think, is something that actually is going to make it to the live version of the game. At least they're testing that in the current beta branch. So it seems like this is something that you might see. And it's really interesting because, like I said, XP is good on the Teller of the Fates, but it is going to mean that we've got to find some more treasures, which can be kind of an awkward thing to do. I was pretty sure I wanted to pick up Minotaur there. I do think Tree of Retribution is good as well, so I'm going to lock onto that. But Minotaur just plays out so well with the Mummy and the Black Cat that I already have, so I just want to try to continue to play the best board for that scenario. So that is what we are going to go ahead and do, and it does look like Gabby has got a pretty reasonable start for herself with a bunch of baby roots. So we are going to wind up losing this combat, and now we have kind of an interesting mini game to play because we are obviously really rewarded for picking up any pairs. So that is definitely something that we want to consider as this game progresses. I'm going to roll. We don't see any pairs here. We do see that 4/1 that casts Falling Stars when it dies. That's what that guy does. Star Monster doesn't really work out well with the Black Cat and the Wretched Mummy though. So I'm going to go ahead and roll, and I roll into a pair plus a Cindy. So that's potentially a nice way to pick up some more treasures. So I think that I am interested in that. I'm also potentially interested in this water wraith, and I'm thinking we could sell the golden chicken, potentially cut the bossy out of all of this, and then probably, oh yeah, that's what we can do too. We can sell off the, okay. I'm not going to go for the water wraith. I thought I was moving around my units looking like I was sizing up the water wraith there, but looks like I'm actually just going to pursue the treasures as much as I can, which kind of changes the game. It's like a new hero power basically to play around because it is so unique. So looks like we are going to go pretty hard into the Skips puzzle cube, see if we can figure out that mystery and turn this into a win. It looks like we are going to be strong enough here by picking up both of the Lonely Princes that we're going to still be winning our combats. So that's nice. And then we have the option here to grab onto another pair. So I think that's just going to be really helpful to pursue. And then I'm also eyeing up the potential of spinning gold to tick down on Cinderella. And I'm also wondering, should I be picking up this Good Witch because now we just have so many good units that it will synergize with. Maybe we want to get out of the Minotaur game and get into the good game. So I'm going to do both of those things here, pick up the spinning gold, and then throw in both of these ogre princesses. And yeah, now we're just looking for ogres. We're looking for Lonely Princes, and then we are also just trying to cast a spell every turn for Cindy, and then hopefully we will be able to get this bonus XP with the eye, and that could just allow us to do cool things. We're gonna get a tier 4 unit next turn, and like I said, if we kind of like overcommit some resources to getting this XP, it will pay off for us in the long run because we will immediately be rewarded with a tier 5 and tier 6 unit as we level up. So it's definitely something to consider with all of this. Ogre Princess gonna get the sleigh. Both mine and my opponent's Trees of Retribution doing some nice work here, and Star Monster looks like it's gonna clear some stuff up, and then we will actually wind up winning the spinning gold. So that's nice. We'll also get the bonus character from the Teller, like we said, and Ogre Princess actually gives us another unit of our potentially building into a pair. It gives us a Good Witch. So definitely want to pick up this Ogre Princess triple. We'll see another new treasure that I think will make it into the live. But Skip's phone booth, kind of awkward with Skip's puzzle box because Skip's phone booth destroys itself. So that will just make it harder to complete the puzzle. You don't want any treasures that will destroy themselves, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I am thinking maybe Ogre Princess could help us complete more triples. That could be cool. I'm going to pick up Tree of Retribution. I'm going to disregard the Huntsman and feed that to the Kraken so that we can tick up on Cindy. I think that the Huntsman is not super great. It's got some really weird incentives for a sleigh card that doesn't scale. You're really looking for something that gives you econ like Ogre Princess or Feasting Dragon do. Amy, we will also probably be seeing in the newest patch. So some of these things will make it to the next version of the game, but some of these things definitely won't. We'll triple up on the tree, and I'm just going to take Haunted Helm here. I think that it is fine enough regardless of what we wind up moving into. And then I think I'm going to move Tree of Retribution into the first slot. Maybe I just want the Ogre Princess there, but Tree of Retribution, super, super strong. Unfortunately, Ogre Princess does take itself out there, or gets taken out by the Earth Elemental, rather, but hoping that the Tree of Retribution can do some work. And if I remember correctly, oh, the Earthquake, oh, that's really funny. So Earth Elemental casts an Earthquake, which allows me to take out another unit. So the tree really did some nice work there for us. Didn't really need the plus 10 health, But now we are going to get into the Skips puzzle box. So none of these treasures are super exciting, or Skips puzzle cube, sorry, not quite a box. None of these treasures are super exciting, but I'm just going to take Cloak of the Assassin so that we can replace the puzzle box and grab ourselves a tier 5 unit. And we grab a Baba Yaga, which is really cool. We also have a Polywoggle in the shop, and that would get us a tier 6 unit pretty ahead of the curve. And it's pretty likely to slay because we can support it with the Sting and the Helm as well for some extra defense. So I like everything that we're doing here. Then we also have Baba Yaga plus Ogre Princess. That is pretty cool. And I think I will cast Earthquake here. It gives us slightly more odds to slay, as well as ticking down on the Cindy. Okay, no, I don't. Okay, well then I have to go for Falling Stars, right? That's reasonable with Tree of Retribution, though it does have a little bit of a downside too. I think I will pick it up here alongside the Golden Chicken, mostly to tick down Cindy, but it is awkward if your opponent is playing like trees themselves to give them some stuff there, but hopefully this Polywoggle can slay. I think it's definitely big enough for this stage of the game, and then maybe we'll be able to get some additional units off of Ogre Princess, and think that we're in a really strong spot. We can see that my opponent does have a tree there that did gain a little bit of value, but we get a Gumblegore, so that's pretty sweet, and then we also get 2 tier 5 units totally for free. I think that Court Wizard will probably be the death of us in this one, and things wind up getting a little bit awkward that my opponent's 16-20 can just take out the Tree of Retribution. If your opponent has a big unit, the Tree of Retribution isn't going to do that much work, but we pick up our first card that has the word double on it, Priest of Burning Light. And that is going to double all supports, and we already have a backline that is filled with supports, so this is going to be quite a good unit. Now, you'll notice in this game, both because we are on the beta branch, and I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what any of these cards do, and because we are playing with Ogre Princess, there's a lot of decisions to make on all of these turns, and I can guarantee you, I'm going to make a bunch of wrong decisions in this game, and I'm going to end a bunch of turns with gold and stuff left over and a bunch of suboptimal plays. I don't really know if I should be using the Priest in the back line or in the front line. It is a ranged unit, but if we put it in the front line, then we can play more supports. So there's a lot of really interesting puzzles to figure out there. I'm going to wind up rolling a few more times for the rest of the turn. I think I'll also cast this Stone Skin and get a treasure from the Cindy just to skip it. Not going to give us anything great there, and then I'm going to wind up rolling and running out of time and wasting 5 gold. So a little bit awkward, but that's just gonna happen when you are experimenting with so many different crazy cards and don't know what you're doing. But here is where you can start to see some of the double madness come into play. So Ogre Princess just got to slay 3 times because Priest gives an additional instance of Baba Yaga, which gives an additional slay for Ogre Princess. So the way that doubling actually works in Storybook Brawl is it's additive. It isn't multiplicative. So we aren't going to get absolutely crazy numbers, but we do still get 3 tier 5 units for free this turn, including another Priest. So we will get to have things get a little bit out of hand here regardless, and then I'll pick up a 3 Big Pigs, grab a tier 5 treasure, and there's a lot of powerful stuff that we can do with that, including doubling our support bonuses again. So yeah, this gets to get pretty crazy. Court Monster is a new experimental unit again. Don't think that one is potentially going to make it to live, but does seem like it could be pretty cool. And then the other thing that I am really thinking here is that the pigs will be good with the Gumblegore, with everything doubled up. So all of this is looking really, really strong to me, and then I'll also throw in a Lancelot in the last moment and take out those pigs, because Lancelot will just auto-complete when we are... I can't even, so it's getting plus 40, right? So you've got the Gumblegore, and then both priests give an additional instance of the Gumblegore, and then the Evil Eye gives an additional instance of the Gumblegore. So all of my supports right now are happening 4 times, which means that Ogre Princess just gave us 4 free units, and we are now going to be able to pick up a tier 5 treasure with Lancelot. It also means that this Ogre is going to now make it so that 3 things in our shop, because one of our priests were dead, 3 things in our shop will auto upgrade here. So that is going to provide some really interesting things, and we can take Staff of the Old Toad to potentially even increase the power of the other Ogre, and I guess 4 things. Okay, the math on this is really funky, and I'm gonna get some things wrong here. You can correct me in the comments, but I already know I'm gonna be wrong. Should have purchased and sold those units as well. We'll probably just run out of time again on this turn. So we have some interesting things building here. We get to pick up another Priest of the Burning Light, which is really cool. I don't think I need any of these tier 5 treasures though. And the more I think about it, so both Ogre Princess and the Court Monster, I believe it's called, are monsters, which means that they are pumped up by this upgraded Oni King, so will Siren be, and maybe we could get some more value even by slaying. Now we are level 6, so that is where the Lordy came from. That's why we had a free Lordy, because that came level 6 off the Teller of the Fates, and then we just happened to upgrade that with the Court Monster. So some crazy things going on. I'm going to make them even crazier. I'm going to play some number of these Priests of Burning Light. The upgraded Priest is now tripling supports. I sell the Lordy from my hand to make room. I think that was a mistake though, because the Court Monster will only upgrade the things that are in the shop. But we just had the nuts happen here. So now Ogre Princess is going to fill the shop with level 6 units, and then Court Monster is going to upgrade them all. And we've got enough health that I think that we can play around with this and really do some silly stuff. Siren is going to make it so that we are still strong enough that we don't just wind up dying, and we'll see what we roll into the shop and what we can put together if we can get even crazier, even sillier with this board and throw in some more doubles, because there is a tier 6 unit that we're going to see here, Mirror Mage. Support, I have the support abilities of your other characters tripled, because it's upgraded. It's not saying doubled, it's saying tripled. We're also going to see an upgraded Hercules here, some more upgraded units that I'm just going to sell through for econ. And then I do also notice the Burning Tree. I am thinking, well, would it be a good strategy to try to pivot into trees potentially? I'm really not sure. We just have so much going on here that all of this is going to kind of just be crazy. I'm going to wind up rolling a little bit, not going into trees necessarily. I think I want to go into sleighs with Jormungand, because that is what this comp is all about. If we throw a Jormungand on this board, all of a sudden we are slaying so much, I couldn't even tell you the numbers right now. So I've got to get rid of something. Let's get rid of the Siren, throw in a Jormungand, and I have no clue where I'm supposed to make space for this thing. We're going to end this turn again with just a bunch of cash unspent. Probably wanted to lock the Riverwash Mermaid, but there was just too much going on. I sell the Lancelot to try to pick up the Baba Yaga. I just don't have enough time. Now I don't have a Lancelot, so kind of some awkward things here. I probably want Lancelot, but there's just too much going on. But we just slayed with both of our monsters again. So next turn, we get to do it again. I'm not sure what exactly that thing is, but we are going to be able to have just a bunch of stuff on the board, and we still have a high enough health total from our early lead that I don't really mind taking 7 here, going down to 11, because now we can do some nutty things. We can pick up another upgraded Mirror Mage. We can pick up an upgraded Jormungand, and then we can buy and sell all of the rest of this stuff just for some additional econ. I think at this point, well, I'm definitely not playing Oni Tyrant, so let's sell through that. Let's sell through all of these other things, and then let's pick up the Mirror Mage. And then at this point, I'm probably abandoning the monsters. They've done really well to get us to this part, but I just don't think that we need them anymore. I think that we want to go full Jormungand. We potentially want to pick up Baba Yagas. We potentially want to pick up more priests, but I also feel like I definitely need to pick up a Riverwash Mermaid, and then part of me is also saying, do I want to pick up trees? Okay, I haven't landed on Riverwash Mermaid yet, never mind. I will, eventually, we'll get there. But for right now, we are gonna be a little bit lost here, figuring out everything onto the board. So, looks like I am still considering Ogre Princess at this time, but thinking I'm going to cut the Court Monster. No, and then I do play the Jormungand in there, and I think that that is right. This is potentially all a little bit greedy. I'm also going for the Herc treasure because that could get us Mimic Chest, and then I do wind up spending some of my gold this turn because we get to play another Jormungand, and then we do see the Riverwash Mermaid here. At this point, I am able to pick it up in time, and we will be moving into that. Now, here's where I say that this is greedy. I should probably just play the Riverwish Mermaid over the Hercules. I probably shouldn't have cared about the Hercules this turn because basically what happens here is these Jormungand slay and then they get totally out of proportions and get to do some crazy things. If we throw a Riverwish Mermaid into the mix, then they get to keep all of these stats permanently. So you can already tell that this is absolutely insane. The Jormungand's in the 1500s here, and they'll even get some more slays. This is good enough to battle up against a Radiant Prism Mirror, which is absolutely nutty. We'll look at some more of that tomorrow though, but Radiant Prism is really, really strong, but we're stronger just with this absolutely massive 3k Jormungand. So we are going to be getting a tier 6 treasure, and that will be Mimic Chest. So now we get to double, triple, just go absolutely nuts. I'm gonna wind up tossing the staff because I think that I might want that sting on Jormungand, again, because I did not give it any passive stats. I only gave it or I guess we gave it passive stats. We didn't give it any permanent stats by playing a Riverwish Mermaid last turn, and I think I'll pick up another one. Basically, if we can find a Horn of Olympus, that will be really, really strong. And I'm not sure here if I should play another Priest of the Burning Light or just play double Riverwish Mermaids. Double Riverwish is a little bit safer, but Priest obviously has such higher potential. So I'm gonna go for the Priest, and then I do find the final Riverwish, and let's see what that gives us. Okay, unfortunately no horn on that one, so I am just gonna wind up skipping on this treasure. I do think about the Pirate Slay to test that out with Mimic Chest, but I'm just gonna skip so that way I can dream since we're not using our hero power at this point, and then I'll pick up Pan Shadow. It could potentially help us find some Baba Yagas or some more tier 5 treasures, or tier 4 treasures rather, to find the horn. So that is what we are going to look at now. Unfortunately, my Jormungand gets attacked into, and then my second Jormungand can't pump up. And we wind up losing both of our Jormungands, and that's actually going to cost us the game. And you can tell by the amount of slays that we have going on here. We put together something wonderful, but because of that greed, because I played Hercules for one extra turn, my Jormungands were not big enough to survive this tree attack. And they would have been if I had just played the Riverwash Mermaid the turn before, because these Mirror Mages, like, this is just a crazy amount of slays. And this is like the peak board for this comp, and I wish that I didn't mess around with it too much. So if we take a look at what else is going to go on in the rest of this combat, we don't really have any units, and my opponent's going to have enough to kill us. But before this game ends, I do want to take a look at this victory screen, because we can now see exactly how many times our Jormungand slayed. It got up to 520 health, which means that it got an additional 480 health, which is 240 River Wish Mermaid triggers. So 240 slays. If we multiply that by 20 to figure out what Jormungand would have got. So what is that? That's 4,000. So if I had attacked first, or if my opponent, I guess just if I had attacked first, I immediately have a 4K Jormungand. But more than that, both of my Jormungands would go into the next combat, likely either at 500 or potentially in the thousands if the board makes itself around and they're able to slay again. Though I guess the River Wish Mermaid would die at some point. So maybe it is even worth it in this comp, despite this likely never being something that you'll see on live. Probably still worth it to backline the River Wish Mermaid and actually frontline the Baba Yaga, but it's all absolutely crazy regardless, and I wanted to show it off despite coming a little bit short of a win. We are going to look at tomorrow a game where one of my opponents is playing this comp and we have got to battle against them, and we are also going to be taking a look at the Radiant Prism tomorrow, which is a treasure that I think is going to be coming to the live patch and is even more busted than all of this. So that is something really fun to look forward to, but that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.